Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and I'm off to the Lake District, somewhere around the Windermere area. Well, I'm on week 4 of this bug that I've had and I can't seem to shift it. I've not been too good again this morning, so hopefully I'm going to have a nice weekend. I've got 1 or 2 different plans. The main thing is we're going on a focused performance weekend. I'm going to do 1 or 2 other things as well if I've got time, if I ever get off. I'm going to go and have a look around 1 or 2 places before I go to the focused performance event, and then I'm stopping on an extra night somewhere else. We're going to try either a pub stopover, but I'm fancying stopping at Lakeside. You can park 24 hours in the Lakeside car park at side of the lake. Mark's fixed the skylight for me. It were leaking, so we have no quilt on the bed. This luckily didn't get wet, but the quilt got wet. These pillows got wet, but they soaked up most of the water. So I've got a sleeping bag which I'm just going to open completely up and use as a quilt. It was leaking from up here. It was this down the side of the skylight was leaking, and then because it was on the slope, it was running down till it got to here and then dripping. These pillars just happened to be just there and soaked most of it up, but the quilt got it as well. So you can see that I've got the dogs with me and I'm not in the Lake District. So what happened? Well, I thought I'd better go for a long walk, seeing as I'm not walking in the Lake District this morning. So me and the dogs are having a nice walk in the woods and thinking about how bad my little experience could have been if I hadn't realised there was something wrong with the van and got out of the outside lane. We set off about 1:30 to head for the Lake District, and we went up the M1, and the M1 was atrocious. They've got roadworks putting these emergency areas in on the new smart motorways. So I think they've decided that these new smart motorways doesn't really work. But these emergency areas aren't that big and they're not that often. But anyway, I was in no rush, so I'd set off early. We trundled along from 40 to 50 and back down to 40 and all the way up to the M62. When we got on the M62, it was the same again. They're doing the same on the M62. But the traffic seemed to keep getting heavier and heavier. And my phone kept telling me, the traffic is getting worse. You are now going to be 20 minutes late and all this type of stuff. And then we seemed to get past all these roadworks and we got 50 mile an hour. I thought, wait. And then we got to a 60 mile an hour. And the traffic seemed to thin out a bit, so I managed to get out round the lorries because I'd been sat there behind all these great big lorries for about an hour. So I was quite happy that moved out, went around a few lorries, then we got a 70 mile an hour speed limit sign. Woo! There we go. So I'm travelling along at 70 mile an hour when I got a bit of a shudder. So I thought, well, it's not windy, none of the trees are moving, so it's not a crosswind that's just hit me. So I was a bit suspicious. I thought, we carried on, everything seemed fine, and then there was another little shudder. So I thought, I think there might be something wrong. So I thought, right, I'm getting into the inside lane. So I started looking for signs for like a welcome break, service station type thing. So luckily I was in the first lane, and but we was travelling along perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden the traffic started to build up and slow down, so I had to slow down, so I had to change gear, and that's when it went. So then I couldn't take my foot off the clutch because the van just juddered and tried to stop dead. So I had to keep my foot on the clutch and like freewheel, and luckily there was one of these new emergency areas coming up, So I kind of, the traffic was slowing right down, so it made it a lot easier. So I just kind of coasted along behind this vehicle until I got to the emergency area and pulled in. So luckily I was not in the outside lane where I had been when I got the first shudder. Pulls into this emergency lay-by thing and then has a nightmare trying to get the AA because the app wouldn't work. And then I rang them and I couldn't hear a word anybody was saying because of the roar of the motorway. But they told me I hadn't got an account. And I says, well, how comes you take the money direct debit every year automatically if I haven't got an account? So with a bit of asking a few questions and the number on my card, which they don't give you no cards no more, the number on it says I've not got an account. So they took my address and that's how they found my account. So after that episode, and standing in the rain for about an hour and a half, you know, it's supposed to be summer, I'd got 2 coats on, a woolly hat, and I was absolutely freezing. I got a recovery vehicle sent to get me off the motorway. They had to shut down a lane so they could get me off with a recovery truck. There we are, we're in the services. Tow truck's just leaving me. I'm just waiting for the next one. So the AA man has turned up. Well, that's the end of my weekend. Didn't start really at all, did it? Didn't get very far. Now we're going back home. Oh well. Anyway, this is going to be a short video. So this is the end of the Lake District weekend. Well, the second recovery truck is just putting my poor baby van on it. Finally back at my garage with my garage man. Now just waiting for somebody to take me home. So thanks for watching. See you next time.